Larry, thanks. Breaking news tonight, the urgent search and rescue recovery operation underway right now after something, we don't know what, triggered a deadly coal mine explosion in West Virginia.
A lot of miners showing up. I just talked to a miner here on the scene, and he said he was scared to death, that he didn't want to go back in the mine tonight.
I want to show you where this is happening, a little bit more about these safety violations that we found. It's the Upper Big Branch mine. This is in Raleigh County, about 30 miles south of Charleston, West Virginia.
I want to send my deepest condolences, our thoughts and prayers to the families and the friends of the workers who lost their lives after an explosion took place in a West Virginia mine yesterday.
My prayer is that I never have to do this again the rest of my life. Someone asked me, Senator Rockefeller, as I entered the memorial service on Sunday, what do you hope to come of this? I said, I hope this is my last one. These were Massey employees of a non-union mine, but I want to tell you, they were my friends, they were my neighbors. I've known some of them, the Davis family in particular, all my life. And I've got to tell you, it's the most emotional thing I think I've been through for a while, and I apologize for that. I want to say something here that I firmly believe in my heart, that this tragedy should never have occurred at Upper Big Branch, and the only way it occurred, the law was violated that you wrote. If they had been in compliance with the laws that Congress had written in 1969, updated in 1977, updated in 2006, it would have been impossible for this tragedy to have occurred.
Went over to the Big Branch mines, never know nothing about the mines, went into the mines. They never give you a safety meeting. You went up on that section, and the first thing they said, that's your machine. I was a roof bolter. You went up to that roof bolter, the first thing they do was start turning the ventilation curtain down that ventilates the face.
How is it that a company can be allowed in this day and age to put people in this kind of a position? Congress should stand up and take a position that we're not going to tolerate this. This is the United States of America. This is not China, and this is not Colombia. This is America we're living in.
When an inspector would show up on the property, they would shut the section down. They would rock dust. They would get all the debris away that could be an explosion. Soon as the inspector leave the property, they jerk all the ventilation back down and start mining coal.
When are we going to turn the tide on worker safety in this country?
Well, I believe the Senate on Tuesday at the Health Committee was very adamant about doing something about this problem. At the time of the Upper Big Branch explosion, Massey Energy had the worst fatality rate in the industry. This is before the Upper Big Branch explosion.
Mr. Blankenship, do I have your attention?
Yes, sir.
Do I? And this is a clear record of blatant, B-L-A-T-A-N-T, blatant disregard for the welfare and the safety of Massey miners. Shame. Would you care to comment?
You asked me, and the committee asked appropriately before, and they asked MSHA before, and they asked MSHA the last time I was here. Why didn't you shut these mines down? I think that's a proper question. The other question I'd like to pose is, why didn't Don Blankenship shut this coal mine down? We don't have to question his authority. He runs this place. He could have walked up there and said, this mine is shut down. This mine's not going to operate another minute until we correct these problems.
Well, what are your expectations of having testimony like this in front of the Senate? What's going to come out of this?
Well, I think what we have to do is raise the level of discussion on this beyond just the idea of passing new laws. We have to ensure in this country that miners are able to refuse to perform unsafe work, and they're able to protest unsafe conditions without retaliation. That doesn't happen in non-union mines.
And like I say, I work there and I talk to them guys. And I'm not telling you what someone told me. And I try to get these guys to understand we need to stand up. You know what they say? If you don't like it, you get out of here, because if we stand up, we all are fired.
Mr. Blankenship, you say that Massey does not place profits over safety, never have, never will. That's what you said in your statement. But in a memo from you dated October 19, 2005, you told your company's deep mine superintendents that running coal is the top priority in the mines. Here's the quote. If any of you have been asked by your group presidents your supervisors, engineers, or anyone else to do anything other than run coal, i.e., build overcast, do construction jobs, or whatever, you need to ignore them and run coal. This memo is necessary only because we seem not to understand that the coal pays the bills, end quote. Doesn't sound like putting safety first to me.
Yesterday, Governor Manchin of West Virginia said if any miner out there working in a non-union mine or a union mine knew of any violation, please come forward. Let's not be afraid to do that. Well, what we need to do is put some teeth in that and say you cannot be fired, you cannot be disciplined, you cannot be discharged if you come forward. That's the teeth we need to protect these coal miners. There's a couple of things that I would suggest that we might want to think about. First of all, the law says currently that any miner who feels he or she is in danger has a right legally to withdraw from that particular area. That doesn't happen in these mines because of fear of being fired and blackballed. I would put criminal penalties on any mine operator who disciplines someone, and I don't mean that somebody just didn't want to work. If someone legitimately felt they were in danger, no one should be forced to work in that condition. No one should be fired, Senator, for calling someone to say, I think this mine's going to explode.
What's a guy who actually goes in the mines and works in those mines? You got any last thing you want to say here?
Yeah, I really believe that, you know, those people that died, they didn't have to die. I mean, it didn't have to happen. Could have been avoided. I mean, that's what I like about being in a union mine. You have representations all the time. You don't have to be scared to call that 800 number. You don't have to have that fear. And the coke operators, they want to get the work done safely. They want you to go home safely. They want you to return to your families. You don't have that in them non-union mines. You don't have it.
We know that people there at this mine were worried about being killed, being injured, and I think that the record will reflect that when this investigation is completed. A young man wrote his mother a letter. A young man, 5 years old, wrote his mother and his fiancée a letter. He has a young baby, which I happened to meet on Sunday, and said, if I die in this coal mine, please tell everyone that I love them. That's the kind of letter people used to write when they went off to Vietnam in my era. That's the kind of letter people used to write to go to Iraq and off to war. That's the kind of letters young men write. That's not the kind of letters they're supposed to write when they get their dinner bucket and go to work in the United States of America.